is Toastmaster intro speech number 4, What I Did on My Summer Vacation. Dan Robinson recently finished his stint as the Club Middle Eastern correspondent and is now back with the club and ready to participate in Toastmaster meetings and work on his Competent Communicator Manual. This is Dan's 4th speech, and the objective of the speech is to inform people of where he went on his summer vacation, tell what he did, and answer if he would ever go back and do it again. The speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Dan did background checks on everyone prior to the speech to ensure that everyone has the proper clearance and the need to know for the speech. If you were asked to leave during this time, nothing personal, it's only national security that we're talking about. Please welcome Dan.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for the intro, and also appreciated your speech. It's been a tough act to follow, but great energy. Hopefully I can continue that. As you can tell, for some of you who have known me since before I left on my summer vacation have wondered, what did you do? And those who have since joined the club and didn't really get to know me have wondered, where did he go on his summer vacation? Well, today I will happily answer those questions for you. I went to a Middle Eastern country called Qatar. It is located on the Arabian Peninsula. It is bordered by Saudi Arabia and also the Persian Gulf. My reserve unit got there in June of 2015. Now, when we got there in June of 2015, that was right during Qatar's hot season. And Qatar's hot season goes from May to September. And during the hot season, the average high temperature is between 100 to 110 degrees. Let me tell you, there were some days where I guarantee you it was much higher than that. There were days where it was either 120 or 125 degrees. And then what made it even more fun was the humidity. There were days where the humidity was at least 80% or higher. And then the wind. Oh gosh, the wind. I remember walking from the chow hall to the dining facility to go shopping at the shopping center. I felt like I was walking in a hot air dryer. That's how it felt. Thankfully, I worked in an air-conditioned building, in an office, and I'm glad that our contractors kept our air conditioning up and running. Otherwise, it would have been a very short tour for me. And I remember it took me about 5 minutes to walk from my building to where I worked, the CENTCOM forward headquarters, from my quarters. It was a 5-minute walk. However, by the time I got to my building, I was drenched from sweat and humidity. So I'd have to wait a couple minutes to dry out before I can go to work because I'd have water all over the place. And I worked in the CENTCOM forward headquarters as part of an organization called CJIAD of Syria. And what that stands for is Combined Joint Interagency Task Force. Now what that means in plain English is our reserve unit was part of an organization that included all branches of the military, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, different military commands, Central Command and Special Operations Command, which I'm sure Julio is familiar with. And we also worked with other government agencies to include the State Department and USAID, and they did a lot of humanitarian work. And we also worked with a lot of our coalition partner countries to include the United Kingdom, France, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and our host country, Qatar. Now, how did I fit into this large organization? What was my role, my part? Well, I worked as an operations officer. What my section did was we would monitor operations that were happening in Syria, hence the Syria designation. But toward the end of my tour/summer vacation, we also monitored operations going on in Iraq. And we would monitor what's happening, and our section would produce a daily report that we would send out to our command and also to the people we worked with. And then we would do daily briefs. I had the opportunity to brief our commander every once in a while. This is where Toastmasters came in. I'm really thankful for the opportunity I had to attend Toastmasters and learn from everybody and train and receive all the feedback. Because the Toastmasters training helped me do these briefs to the general. I will say, though, that there was other people in these briefs that would have benefited from Toastmasters training. Our honor master, you would have been going through notebooks upon notebooks. Just boom, 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 boom. Thankfully, you weren't there. So I did that for 9+ months on this summer vacation. We worked 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday, 10 to 12-hour days. Thankfully, on Saturdays and Sundays, we had reduced hours. We would work from, usually on Saturdays, we had 6 hours. Sundays, we had 4. Why we bothered doing on Sundays, I'm not sure, but that's the military for you. It rarely makes sense or do anything that's logical. Thankfully, I had the chance to go and visit the country of Qatar, go see the people. I had a chance to go out in Doha, which is the major capital city. See the people, go shopping, eat at some many fine restaurants. So I'm thankful I was able to do that and see more to Qatar than just life on a military base. There's only so much you can do on a military base. And so I've had people ask me since I've been home. You just got back, spent 9+ months, in the heat, the humidity. Now it did cool down after a while. It got down to like 90 degrees, which was jacket weather for us. But then it also got down into the 50s and 60s, and you guys weren't a parka by that point. But I did enjoy going there, and I answered the question, would I go back and do it again? And the answer is yes. Even though I missed my family and I made a lot of sacrifices, I missed a lot of family events, I missed U2 concerts. I'm still bitter about that, but I'll get over it one day. But when we got there, our reserve unit, and our commanding general, Major General Mike Nagata, he understood the sacrifices that we were making as a reserve unit. A lot of us were putting our family events on hold, employment on hold, educational opportunities on hold. Well, he himself had a large family, so he knew the sacrifices well, but he told us to keep this in perspective. In order for us to enjoy the freedoms we have here, the security and the peace, it is often necessary for us to play the away games so we do not have to play the home games here. And personally, I'd much rather do operations against the Islamic State over there than have to deal with them at home over back here. And I remember also when I had a flag flown in honor of the club on an aircraft that was conducting operations against the Islamic State. And I remember sending it back, and the feedback I got, and I remember Suan sending me a picture of everyone around the flag with a certificate. For me, that's what it was all about. That is why I went on that summer vacation. And I would gladly do it all over again. However, the next time I do, if I ever do go back, I do not want to go during the hot season. Thank you.